we should all think about how we describe and talk to and about each other. I'm not going to ask for a show of hands, but I bet you if I asked truthfully, how many of you have recently described someone of the opposite party as crazy, it'd be 2/3 of the room.
And probably today.
It might have been this morning. We describe our partisan opponents in terms that have gotten sharper and sharper. We don't just question their policy priorities, we question their motives. We don't just question their motives, we question their stability and sanity. It's pretty hard to have a conversation with someone who doesn't just disagree with you, but who questions your motives and even your sanity. I think we've got a long road back towards being in a place where the Congress works as designed and intended. The country's made it through much harder times than this. I've spent a lot of time thinking about Lincoln in the last year and a half for exactly that reason. We've made it through world wars, a civil war, depressions, huge changes in our society. We will survive this. But the question is, will we ever get back to a place of robust civil discourse and respect for each other? I think it is in exactly this kind of discourse that we may find that. I know my remarks this evening really spoke to a particular view of Christianity from my particular background and training. But I don't think that's the only path. I think there are other ways, rooted in faith or rooted in reason, that allow us to find our path back towards each other. Last point, and this is borrowed from Ben Sass, a Republican colleague and friend of mine, who just wrote a book to this point. In some ways, we are asking for too much of politics, he writes. In a digital age where real relationships have become too attenuated, we're looking for tribal identity, for red and blue jerseys, and we're over-investing in partisan politics, and we'd be better to put down some of those tools and look for meaning by connecting in local communities, and then expect of the folks in Congress that they'll maybe solve difficult problems, and we'll forgive them when they cross the aisle and surprise and disappoint us.